word for today. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my beautiful people. Beautiful ladies and handsomely beautiful gents. Y'all know what it is. It is another Sunday morning, and I feel pretty doggone good this morning, y'all. I truly feel good. Like I said, I'm like that most days, because, I just want to give God some thanks this morning just for allowing me to be able to stand up this morning, wake up this morning, move this morning. I want to thank Him for breath in my body this morning. I want to thank Him for able limbs this morning. Lord, I exalt your name this morning. God, I praise your name this morning. God, I magnify your name this morning. God, I lift your name on high this morning. God, right now, I give you the highest and the biggest hallelujah because you deserve it. Surely God is deserving. He is worthy to be praised, and we ought to give Him some praise this morning. Like I said, I just feel pretty good. If y'all feel good, y'all know what I say, y'all say it with me. All is well. I just have been so full. This week, Wednesday, I got the opportunity to go down in Churchsburg at Bethel Church. That's where Apostle Trailer is, and I got the chance to do a woman-to-woman encouraging word. So, God just has really had me full this week. And because He allowed me to do that word for Wednesday, that means I had to do some preparation and some meditation and some studying. So because good morning, Miss Bridget, good morning, Miss Jackson, good morning to y'all all. Because He allowed me to come forth with that word, He didn't really give me the word for today until later on in the week. And so because I've learned to trust God, because I've learned to not worry when I don't have something, I trust God. Even though when I don't have something right away, I trust that God is going to provide. Even though I didn't have this word for Sunday, even though I didn't know what it was going to be through the week, I wasn't worried about it, but I did question about it. You know how we'll ask our mama, we'll tell our mama, we'll have something due. I can remember when I said, we got this due in 2 weeks. And then if mama don't say nothing else about it, then about a week later, I say, mama, you know I got this coming up. And she'll say, I remember. That's kind of how it was with God. I was like, God, the word got to come forth on Sunday. And God was like, I didn't forget. I got you. So after I gave that word on Wednesday in Churchsburg, Thursday, I didn't hear anything about a word. Friday, so I thought I didn't have a word. But it was Saturday when I began to walk and I was exercising. And I brought it back to His attention again. I said, God, you know the word, it's going to come forth tomorrow. I said, you haven't gave me a word yet. He said, I gave you a word. You just didn't know it. He said, let me help you recollect. So here's what happened. God actually gave me the word on Friday night, but I didn't even recognize it because I wasn't focused on it. And here's what happened. When I got off of work Friday night, I went over to my mom's to pick up my daughter. And when I went over there, good morning, Brother Arthur, good morning, Mama Mary. So when I went over my mama's house Friday night to pick up my daughter, I sat down for a little bit and I began to talk with her. And all of a sudden, Mama began to talk about the bird. Y'all, I don't know what it is. Something about these birds and these nests. It's just been so vivid. Everywhere I look, it's like I see a bird. I don't know if God's trying to say I'm flying to something or what. He hasn't given me all that yet. But my mama began to talk about a bird. She said, it's this bird that just keep building this nest on my back porch. She said, I went out there. She said, I took my broom and I cleaned up the ceiling fan. See, because on my mama's back porch, she have a ceiling fan. She said, I cleaned up the ceiling fan real good because that bird just had dirt everywhere. It's just been trying to build that nest on the fan. So I took my broom and I went out there and I cleaned it off real good. And she said, I cleaned it out, got all the dust. She said, I got everything. She said, I swept all that dirt off the porch. I cleaned it up. She said, and when I got in the house, she said, it wasn't even 10 minutes. She said, something just told me to go out there and look again. She said, when I go out there, it's dirt on the blades of the ceiling fan again. And she said, as I'm headed out there, she said, I see the bird flying. And she said, it ain't one of them, but it's two of them. She said, they got dirt and stuff hanging out like their mouth. And she said, it's flying towards the blade. And she said, so I just politely got my broom. She said, I cleaned up those blades again. And she said, this time before I went in the house, I made sure that I cut the ceiling fan back on. I said, okay, God, the bird was building a nest on Mama's ceiling fan, and she cleaned up and cut the fan back on. He said, that's your word. He said, here's what I showed you. See, the bird, he took it to me spiritual. See, the bird is on the building a nest on Mama's ceiling fan because that's in a safe place for if the bird build a nest there and lay eggs there, it's going to keep the eggs safely out of danger, most likely. So the bird is on the bill in its nest there to make sure the babies are safe. But here's what God showed me spiritually through that thing that my mama said. He said, see, the bird, it presents, or it represents the enemy. See, the bird the whole time, he was just sitting in the trees looking, waiting on my mama to go in the house and sit down when the ceiling fan was off, so that he could come in there and sit down, or she could come in there and sit and begin to lay the nest on the ceiling fan. And he said that's how the enemy do. He said the enemy just sit back and watch, and just sit back and look. He just sit back and try to see when you sit down on God. Try to see when you stop praying. Try to see when you stop going to church. Try to see when you stop worshiping God. Try to see when you get mad at God. And as soon as he see that you sit down on God, he comes in and he begins to take camp. He said, but here's what you got to do. He said, you always got to make sure that you stay in my word. You always got to make sure that you pray with me. You always got to make sure that you walk with me. He said, so you always got to make sure that you're cleaning up. See, he said, because the enemy's going to always be coming. So you always got to be ready. You always got to be cleaning up what the enemy is trying to mess up. He said, and here's the thing. After you get through cleaning up, he said, you just can't stop there. He said, you got to keep on moving. See, he showed me that when my mama cut the ceiling fan on. See, when my mama cut that ceiling fan on, the bird didn't come back. And see, the reason the bird didn't come back, because now the ceiling fan is moving. And see, you know that the ceiling fan has 3 different settings. It has high, medium, and low. Or it can be low, medium, and high. And God showed me this. He said, it don't matter what speed that the ceiling fan is moving. He said, the point is the fact that if it's still moving, the bird can't sit there. See, because every time the bird gonna come in, y'all know when those blades are propelling when they're turning. If you try to run through and put your hands in that blade, what is gonna happen? It's gonna knock your hand back. And that bird understand that. That's like the enemy. When the enemy see that you're continuously moving with God, when the enemy continue to see that you're walking with God, when the enemy continue to see that you're always consuming with God and you're meditating with God, when he comes in, he's gonna continuously get knocked back. So what God is trying to tell you this morning, he's telling you to keep on moving. See, I said, oh my God, from a bird laying a nest on the ceiling fan and mama cleaning it up and making sure the fan is on, God gave me that revelation. See, we got to be on watch. We got to make sure that we don't sit down on God. We got to make sure that we stay with God. We got to make sure that we're always giving him some praise. We got to make sure that we always stay in his word. See, because here's the thing about the enemy. We get mad at him, but we can't get mad at the enemy because he's only doing his job. He's doing his job, and when he do his job, that continues to show us that God is able. That continues to show us, as long as we keep walking with God, that the enemy ain't got no power, that the enemy can't win. As long as you continue just to stay with God, keep on moving, you're going to be all right. And here's what else God showed me. He said, now, though the fan is still moving, you got to understand that in the atmosphere that it's in, even though when it's still moving, some dust still going to get on that fan. The fan blades are still going to get dirty sometime. So you're still going to have to clean up. He said, so you need to understand, even though when you keep on moving with me, you got to understand that there's still going to be some attacks. There's still going to be some things that come your way. And though they're still coming your way, you just keep on moving. But every now and then, you got to stop and do a little cleaning up. See, he says, when the dust get on you, shake it off. When the dust get on you, clean it off. He said, when the dust get on you, as long as you got God, as long as you got that living water, you can take that living water and clean off the dirty things. You can wash away the enemy. See, you need to understand, as though you keep on moving with God, that doesn't stop the attacks of the enemy. It just keep him back. Somebody say, keep on moving. Keep on moving. Now, here's the word he brought to me. He took me to Exodus 14. And I always talk about the Israelites so much. And see, in Exodus 14, I had to look down to see how to pronounce these. This is when God spoke to Moses, and he said, I need you to tell the Egyptians they need to turn around and they need to take camp. And they need to go to Pahaharath. And he said it's going to be between Milcah and a sea. And he said it's going to look like when the Egyptians see the Israelites, when the Egyptians see the Israelites are going between the sea and the desert, it's going to confuse them, because it's going to look like the Israelites are trapped. It's going to look like they're stuck. It's going to look like they're going to be able to get them. But God says, Moses, I got a plan. You know I got a plan, so I need for the Israelites to follow through. So what Moses did, he told the Israelites what God said. So they began to move, and they got down there. And as it gets on down in the scripture, it tells us, he said, when he told Moses, he said, I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart, and I'm going to cause him to come out. So when they found, he hardened Pharaoh's heart because he had a plan. So when he hardened his heart, and now that they're sitting down there at Hira between Milka and the sea, where it looks like they trapped, when he hardens Pharaoh's heart, he said, why do we let those Egyptians go? He said, I need them to do some services back here at Egypt. I need them to do some work. So what he did then, when he hardened his heart, it caused them to pursue the Israelites. So now that the Egyptians are pursuing the Israelites, the plan is coming to pass. See, the Israelites are like those fan blades. They're moving, even though they're sitting there, and it seems like they're stuck. They're moving, and so they're sitting there. And all of a sudden, when it gets on down in the verses around 10 or 11, it says that when the Israelites look up, they become afraid because they see that the Egyptians are coming for them. So it says that they begin to cry to God, and I'm pretty sure they're crying. They're saying, God, we need you. God, we need your help. God, we stuck. God, we're right here. They finna take us. They finna hurt us, Lord. And all of a sudden they look at Moses and they said, did you bring us out of Egypt because there wasn't any graves in Egypt? Did you bring us out here to be buried in the desert? They said, why did you bring us out here? They said, we would rather have stayed in Egypt and served the Egyptians. See, that when the Israelites became afraid, when they called out to God and it seemed like God wasn't answering, they got mad. And Moses said, why did you bring us out here? See, they were so used to being comfortable. They were so used to being comfortable, being uncomfortable. See, they were used to serving the Egyptians. They got so afraid that they would rather be comfortable, uncomfortable. They would rather, instead of walking the walk and get the promises that God had for them, they would rather stay with the Egyptians because they had got afraid. But God said, don't be afraid. Stand firm. He said, God is going to deliver you where the Egyptians won't be able to touch you anymore. And here's what happened. Then he looked at Moses. He tells Moses, see, he had already gave everything. He had already planned everything. See, we have to be like those fan blades. Remember, I told you got to keep on moving. See, some things are going to come against you. The attacks are always going to be coming. But just because the attacks are coming don't mean you stop. You got to keep on moving. So he told him, he said, don't be afraid. You got to stand firm. He says, God is going to deliver you. And then God begins to talk to Moses. And he says, look at here. He said, I done gave you the tools. I done gave you what you need. He said, what you crying to me for? He said, look at that rod and staff in your hand. That rod and staff that I gave you, I put some power in that rod and staff so that when you lift it, you can be able to pour it over stretch it over the waters and cause the waters to part. And so when Moses realized what he had, when he realized that God was with him indeed, when he realized that God was indeed looking over him and the Israelites, he began to set some things forth. But here's what I like. Here's what I like. He told him this. He's all the while. In the scriptures, it tells us as it gets on down now, it lets us know all the while that God was with the Israelites the whole time. Because it tells us in the word, it says that the angel of God was always before the Israelites. And it said when it seemed that they was afraid, the angel of the Lord that was in front of him moved from in front of them and went behind them. See, what it was trying to show you, see, that God is always leading you the way. See, even though you don't understand the way, you got to keep on moving and keep walking towards God and keep walking with God. You got to keep on believing in him and trusting in him. Even though you don't know what he's doing, just keep on trusting in him. Keep on walking because he's before you. But when he seen that they became afraid, the angel of the Lord moved from in front of them and moved behind him because he seen that they were falling back. He seen that they were getting weary. He said, so even though you're falling back, now I'm behind you, I'm going to catch you. And then it says that there's a pillar of cloud. See, the pillar of cloud was always before the Israelites. But when all this stuff started happening, the pillar of the cloud, it went behind the Israelites. And it said something about this cloud. It said this cloud, to the Israelites, it was like a beam of light. But to the Egyptians, it was like darkness. So it's showing us that God is showing you the way. See, he told them down in 15. When he got down in 15, he said, why are you crying? He said, I need you to speak to those Israelites and tell them to move forward. See, he said, I'm telling you to tell them to keep on moving. He said, I have designed the way. He said, I have planned the way. See, in Isaiah, it says, he said, behold, I'm going to do a new thing. And he said, and it shall spring forth. He said, but shall you know it? See, when you trust in him, you're going to know it. When you believe in him, you're going to know it. Even though you don't understand him, but you know that he's going to make a way. When you know it, then you'll know that there's a way. But see, when you don't trust in him, when you stop believing in him, when you start having doubt and fear, and when you sit down on God, that's when you become stuck. That's when you begin to lose your way. But when you say, God, even though I don't know what you're doing, I trust what you're doing, so I'm going to keep on moving. That's when you'll find out that God, when it looked like it was the end, God was just showing you that he's going to be with you until the end. See, he told him to move forward. And so after he told him to move forward, that's when it came to pass. Moses stretched out his rod. It caused the waters to part. The Israelites walked through it. They walked on dry land. And when they walked through, when he got through, and he said, now Moses, stretch it out and cause those waters to close. And see, when the Egyptians, they was already walking in, thought they was going to make it through and get the Israelites, but it wouldn't happen. It wasn't happening. He said, cause that water to close on the Egyptians. See what I'm trying to tell you? I told you the word is, for the day is keep on moving. See, if the Israelites would have stopped, see, if they would have stopped, they would have never got to see that the waters were part. If they would have stopped walking while they was walking through the split of the water, the division of the water, they would have never seen that God had a way all along. See, God has a way all along, but we got to keep on moving. See, God has a plan all along, but we got to keep on moving. See, in Habakkuk 2, it says, write the vision down and make it plain so that whoever sees, they can read it and run with it. He said, though it tarry, he said, wait for it, because it's going to surely come. See, some people have given up on their dream. Some people have given up hope. Some people have quit. Some people have quit because people have deterred their dream. Some people, they stopped declaring their dream because it seemed like it's taking too long. It seemed like it took too long. It seemed like it wasn't going to come to pass. But God said, though it tarry, he said, wait for it, because it's going to come. He said, but it's going to come at the appointed time. See, when God says he's going to do something, it's going to happen, but you got to wait for it. And in the midst of waiting for it, you can't just sit there, but you got to keep on moving. Somebody say, keep on moving. Somebody say, keep on moving. See, I'm encouraging you this morning, keep on moving. See, the enemy is going to attack, but keep on moving. You're going to have some hardships, but keep on moving. You're going to be loose, and you're going to have some broken relationships, but keep on moving. See, you're going to come against war, and you're going to have some battleships, but keep on moving. See, why worry about the ships when you can sit in the hand of God? See, you ain't got to worry about the ships when you can sit in the hand of God. See, because God hand, when you ain't able to walk, He's going to carry you. And when you're able to walk, you can hold His hand, and He's going to lead you the way. He's going to hold His hand out, and He's going to say, that's the way to go. You keep on moving. He said, I know it looks like you're trapped. See, to the Israelites, it looked like they were trapped. And see, when the Egyptians were coming for the Israelites, to the Egyptians, it looked like they were trapped. It looked like they was going to be able to take the Israelite captive. But little did they know that the river was going to pour. See, He told you, He said, I'm making a way in the wilderness. And he said, I'm making rivers in the desert. See, even though the Israelites thought that Moses had brought them there to die, God says, I'm making a way. See, we don't want to have any pain. We don't want to have any troubles. We don't want to have any trials and any hardships and tribulations. We don't want to be in the wilderness. But see, God takes us in the wilderness to show us that He is able. In the midst of the wilderness, He can show us that if we will only stick to Him, when the enemy comes against us in the midst of the enemies, all we got to do is say, get thee behind me, Satan. And all we got to do is trust in our God, and He's going to show us the way. We just got to keep on moving. You see, God put in my spirit a song by James Fortune. See, He's telling us to keep on moving. See, in this song, it's called, I believe it's already done. I think that's the name of it, but that's how it goes. And in this song, he says, I believe the storms will soon be over. See, he's saying, even though when you're in a storm, just go ahead and trust God, because soon the storm will be over. He said, I believe the rain will go away. He's showing you that you're going to get rained on. You're going to get wet sometime. You're going to get drenched. You're going to have to walk in the storms and get wet. But soon the rain will go away. He says, I believe that I can make it through it. And matter of fact, because I believe it's already done. And see, James Fortune can say that it's already done because he's moving in God. See, the grass withereth and the flower fadeth, but the word of God still stands. See, no matter what happens, no matter how things may look dried up, no matter how things may fade away, as long as you keep the word of God, you stick to it, it's always going to be able to allow you to keep on going. Then Hezekiah get on down there. He said, I believe that God is a healer. He said, no matter about the sickness, even though when the doctors say they can't do nothing for me, even though the medicine ain't helping me, even though I ain't got the money to get the medicine, I know that God is my doctor, and I know that God can heal me. He's saying, be like the woman with the issue of blood. No matter how long you have to go against the sickness, no matter how long you have to deal with the hurts, no matter how big the lacerations are, God is able to heal it. He's able to get deep down into the wound, and he's able to heal it from the inside out. And mend the broken pieces, mend the cut pieces. He's able to mend brokenness. Then he goes on down and say, I will survive. He says, because God is able. See, this morning, I'm encouraging you to keep on moving. See, to keep on moving in the midst of it, you need to start singing, I believe storm will soon be over. I believe the rain will go away. I believe I can make it through it. Oh, I believe it's already done. I believe my God is a healer, yeah, yes he is. I believe I will, you will survive. I believe God is able. Yes, he is. No matter what I go through, no matter how hard it gets, I know it is already done. I believe God's gonna fix it for you. I believe it's gonna get better for you. I believe God's gonna fix it for you. I believe it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, y'all. You're gonna have to grieve sometime, but it's gonna get better. You're gonna have to mourn sometimes, but it's gonna get better. You're gonna have to fight sometimes, but it's gonna get better. You're gonna have to weep sometimes and cry sometimes and get weary at times and have some burden sometimes, but it's gonna get better. Oh yeah, it's already done. And that's what God told me this morning. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. While I'm on this tedious journey, I need you, Jesus, to walk with me. See, anybody want to hold his hand? Say, hold my hand, Lord. Hold my hand, Lord. Hold my hand, Lord. Hold my hand. While I'm on this tedious journey, I need you, Jesus. I need you, Jesus. I'm calling on you, Jesus. I'm depending on you, Jesus. I'm trusting in you, Jesus. And I need you. We need you to walk with me. I need you. Anybody need him this morning? Does anybody need him this morning? If you need him this morning, then say, God, I'm with you. God, I'm with you, and I know that you are with me. See, don't give up on God. Don't sit down on God. Don't think that God has forgot about you. Because he says, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, and I never seen the seed begging for bread. That's what David said. And then here's what he said. He said, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God delivers them out of them all. See, even though you are with God, even though you are his child, even though he keeping you, you need to understand that still we're going to have some affliction. But the affliction isn't there to hurt us. The affliction isn't there to kill us. The affliction isn't there to beat us or defeat us. But the affliction is there to help us, to help build us up, to help us realize that God is able. See, God showed Pharaoh and the Egyptians. He said, I'm trying to show you that I am Lord. God was showing Pharaoh and the Egyptians that he truly was God. See, Pharaoh thought he was God, but when he got through with them, they truly seen who the real God was. And see, when we stick with God, when we keep on moving with him, no matter what we deal with, no matter what we face, no matter what comes against us and what we have to come against, if we just keep on moving with God, he shows us who he is. See, don't worry about the wrecked ships. I told you, don't worry about the ships. Just worry about God's hand. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Somebody tell him, walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. While I'm on this tedious journey, I need you, Jesus. I need you, Jesus. I need you, Jesus. I need you. I need you. I need you to walk with me. See, he says in his word, be not weary in well doing. For in due season, at the appointed time, at the designated time, at the right time, you will reap if you faint not. And see, when you say that you're going to faint not, that means you're going to keep on moving. So in the midst of fear, keep on moving. See, because when you keep on moving, even though you have a little fear, see, that allows your faith to overtake your fear. When you keep on moving, even though it feels like you're being defeated, that allows you to see that you are more than a conqueror. Yeah, to the Egyptians, it looks like they're going to overtake you. But when you understand that the conqueror can't overtake you because you are more than a conqueror. See, all you got to do is keep on moving with God. That's my word for you this morning. Keep on moving. Be like those blades on the fan. Keep on moving. See, sometimes you're going to move fast. It's going to seem like God's stronger with you. Sometimes you're going to slow down. It's going to be like, God, well, it seems like you're here, but you got to keep on moving. Sometimes the blade's going to be on low. But no matter what you do, keep on moving. Because if you ever stop, if you ever sit down on God, if you ever quit on God, and that's when the enemy's going to sit in, and he's going to come in, and he's going to begin to set up and create some mess and build some mess. And see, and the bigger the mess gets, the longer you let him sit there, the harder it's going to be to clean up the mess. But see, if you keep those blades on your fan moving, if you keep those blades on your spiritual fan moving, and you keep on moving with God, then you may catch some dust, but the dust won't faze you. The dust won't faze you because God is going to be keeping you. That's my word for y'all today. Keep on moving. No matter how hard it gets, keep on moving. No matter what it looks like, keep on moving. Even though it feels like you're losing, keep on moving. Even though it feels like you done lost, keep on moving. See, you don't understand why God told you to quit the job. And you saying, God, I need my job. I got to pay my bills. And you in the midst of going to school. And you saying, God, why would I quit my job? And I'm in school and I got to pay bills. But trust God. Just keep on moving. See, because God is making a way. I told you again, as he said in Isaiah, he's making a way. And he's springing a new thing. And matter of fact, it's already spring forth. And if you don't trust God and you don't believe in God, if you don't keep on moving, then you won't know it. That he's made a way for you. And see, if Moses would have just stopped, if God wouldn't have told him, Moses, I done gave you the tools to win, Moses and the Israelites, they would have been overtaken. See, you already have the tool. And the tool is God. You got the power of God. And as long as you got the power of God, no matter where you walk to, whether the road or the journey is narrow or whether it's wide, or whether the journey is tedious, just continue to keep on moving with God. That's my word for y'all today. Y'all be blessed. Y'all encourage somebody to keep on moving. Y'all hold on and be strong. Because remember, God said, wherever you go, I am with you. And because you know He is with you, wherever you move, just remember, you keep on moving. Y'all have a happy Sunday, and y'all be blessed. I'll see y'all next Sunday until God gives me another word. But remember, keep on moving.